Hello everybody, welcome to my garage. Just bought this new hot air balloon here. But you know what I like more than knowledge? It's this old paramotor here. Anyways, this is a 100-hour rebuild of a Vittorazi Moster 185. Mine is, what are you?
Mine is a MY20, but it's got the 22 upgrades.
So I've got the Moster Handy Box sold by Sky Sports, and I'm going to use basically all of it. And then there's not going to be any box left, so that's a shame. Here we go. Should be most of the 100-hour service. If you saw my Adam 80 service video, you'll know eventually the engine had to come off anyways. So I'm just going to start with that from the beginning. So on my Defiant, we've got 3 main engine mounts. Looks like they're all 5mm. Are they 5mm, Bailey? I think they're 5mm. Yes, they were 5mm. Hey, that funny noise you're hearing is right here. Yep. Just spray gas everywhere. That's good stuff. Hey, I like this. That's nice and easy to carry around. Why can't we fly them like that? All right. In no particular order. Eventually, I've got to do the head gasket and then the bottom of the cylinder gasket and the piston, and the exhaust has to come off anyway, so we'll just... Sweet, I get to use my spring puller. I never get to use my spring puller. Oh my god. In the meantime, carburetor. Shazam! Alright, you get a new gasket. You get 2 new gaskets. And you, mister, get all this fun stuff. Okay, you gotta crack this guy open and whew, replace all this fun stuff. It's really baked on there. Yeah, all that. Those. Just a friendly reminder, this is not a guide. You should probably go watch somebody else who does these a lot better than me. Those. Over to the other side with all the gas. Carb's done. Time for fire. So this exhaust bushing is always a real pain in the butt, but by heating it, hopefully I can smack it off. I'd rather not use a hammer, he says as he grabs a hammer. Yeah, I got some good movement there. So when I replaced this at 50 hours, I put moly coat on it, and that helped a lot. This one's way easier to do than the 50-hour one was. That was not tight on there at all. Okay, new gasket, same old plate. I hope you guys appreciate the commitment that I'm showing here, throwing parts at my engine. New nuts and washers. Moly coat, because that worked really well. And finally, the new bushing, which I'm not going to throw because this is brass and can easily get nicked. But also I've got to heat it up to make it expand enough to be able to slide it on there with no problem. So, fire time. like a glove. All right, part of the 100-hour service, but some of the parts that I don't have yet is changing out the bearings and the belt. So I've got to take my quick release prop hub off, which is a pain in the butt. See if I can break this sucker off. Oh, I did. I got it. Hey, forget about it. Hey. Continuity errors are fun. All right, let's pop this off. I got to do new gaskets and the reed valves that just came in. Thanks SkySportsUSA.net. Super fast shipping. Pop this guy off. Abracadabra. Oh, actually, I need that other piece off too. So these kind of act like one-way valves where the fuel and the air goes in, but then when it does the compression stroke, it doesn't try to come back out. So that gives you a bunch more power. But they've got these little plastic little flapper doodads, and the plastic flapper doodads need to be replaced, so we are replacing the plastic flapper doodads. Worth pointing out, you'll notice how this one's got a gap at the top. They're slightly curved, so you want to make sure that slightly curved bit curves inwards to make a more durable seal. So it's curved this way towards the body instead of this way away from the body. Okay, cool. So it'll go gasket, then reed valve block, then gasket, then carburetor attachment block, and then that goes on the engine. Like that. 1 like equals 1 part thrown at my engine. And hey, good news is now I can put the carburetor on. No, I'm actually not going to throw that one. That's a little fragile. Freaking oops. Right, so this hole in the reed valve block has to line up with this hole in the carburetor mount, which has to line up with, hold on, I got it. This hole on the carburetor block, which has to line up with this groove. So the carburetor has to be mounted with the throttle arm facing down like that, which means the hole needs to be over here, which necessitates that this block not be mounted this way, but this way. Ah, so all the holes line up. I love it when the holes line up. Boom. You know, if somebody would just read the instructions, we wouldn't have this problem. Come on. What are you thinking? Vittorazi, obviously, I'm not to blame. What are you talking about? And now we can go gasket, block, gasket, carburetor. Boom. Don't try that editing trick at home, kids. I am a professional. Idiot. You also need the throttle cable attached. I've heard that's an important piece of the puzzle. Okay, now for the money shot. So we're getting a new spark plug and taking these 4 nuts off and taking the head off. Remember, kids, don't reuse your old nuts. Ooh. Cylinder head. Ah, very nice, very nice, very nice. Upside down now. I've removed that little wrist pin clip holder, and we're just gonna tap the wrist pin clean out so we can replace the wrist pin bearing. Nice gentle little love taps. Slid right out. Which means yoink, piston, and new bearing. We're also going to do new rings on the piston. The outer edges of the piston are super slimy, which is actually really good because I haven't run this motor in weeks. So, way to go, Amsoil Dominator. You got to pay attention to these little pins, though, that your actual rings have to align with. They've got a cut in them, and they line up with those pins. So there's one for the lower ring, one for the upper ring. So we'll yoink these off and slap the new ones on. And now we just... Man, this is going to get tricky. Hold on. So yeah, you just kind of had to line it up by eye. Clip that guy in. Cool, 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 cool. New lower gasket has to go on now, but annoyingly, I basically have to scrape it off with a razor blade because it's so stuck on there. New gasket going on. Make sure you measure it. It's got to match what came off of it. I did this like relatively recently, like 30 hours ago. And I remember it was a 0.3, so I threw a 0.3 back on it. We'll just slide this sucker on. Now, if you thought I was going to throw my cylinder, like the actual cylinder, at the piston to illustrate putting it on, then you were wrong. I'm not going to do that. Okay. All right. Whew. There we go. And finally, new O-ring. Bada bing, bada boom. And throw this back on. The holes are off center, so you gotta make sure you get them right-ish. It goes like that. I can finally get back to throwing parts. Washers are directional, changed my mind. Feeling so fresh and so clean. Now I can put the exhaust back on, that's nice. Okay. Hard mode. Yep. Okay, pull start time. So on the back side of the pull start, we're replacing these little toothy boys and the spring here. I can throw these parts. Ta-da! They're new, I promise. And now we're going to rope cable it. Words. Oh, just a single overhand knot. Alright, that's easy. 2.2 meters seems like a lot of rope, but that's what they sent. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Okie dokie, new belt time. Get you on there, bud. And now for mounting the engine, which on my frame is easiest to do with the engine laying on the floor. Just like that. So one of the really weird things about the belts on the Moster is you have to tighten them to a pitch. So I've got my tuner here. Look it up in your manual because I'm pretty sure the older ones have a different tuning, but you gotta turn this to tighten the belt while then plucking like a string. Ta-da! Okay. Let's see if it starts. Your prop. First pull. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the video out. You know, the YouTube crap of the liking and commenting and subscribing. I'm sure it's getting old by now, but I gotta say it. Otherwise, you know, no growth. So, thanks for watching. Check out one of these other videos, and I'll see you next time.